لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا.
Bismillah. All praise be to Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, and peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and all the prophets of Islam since the time of Adam to the time of Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Again, it's my pleasure to welcome you to your program, a program about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, you and I and all the Muslims will benefit from, not only the Muslims, all humanity, because he was sent to all humanity with a humane religion of guidance of truth. We'll continue with the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how they benefited from him, how they were brought up by the Prophet's school. Therefore, we will benefit from as well. Today, we'll focus on a joyful young man who left his family, his parents, after asking their permission to join the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was at the age of 15 when he heard about the advent of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions to Medina. He was living very close to Medina in the tribe of Aslam. And hearing about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam filled his heart with faith, with desire to join in this new faith where only Allah is worshipped, idols were rejected. So he sought his parents' permission. After some time, they allowed him to go. He was among the people who witnessed the Battle of Badr. When he came to Medina as a young man, he had no place to go to. Therefore, as you know, he would go to the hotel of Medina. The hotel of Medina was, or the guest house of Medina was, Ahl al-Suffah, the place in the mosque of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where all those people whom Ahl al-Suffah, among them came the greatest companions of Prophet Muhammad sallam, who carried knowledge all over the world. So he joined them. When he sat there, he said, I came here to learn from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why would I sit here? I would request the Prophet to be his servant. He went to the Prophet, said, I want to be your servant, O Prophet of Allah. That will be a great honor for me. Yes, it will be a great honor for any human being to be the servant of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam welcomed him. He didn't need anybody to serve him. He has wives, he has many people of the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam who could really, but he didn't want to reject the request of that young man, realizing that those are the people who are going to carry the message of Islam all over the world. This young man is going to spend the time with me, observing how the Prophet ﷺ was treating his wife, treating children, passing the laws. The revelation would come to the Prophet. Those people, the first one would get it, etc. So he joined being a servant to the Prophet ﷺ. And he said, I would spend all the time, will be with the Prophet just like his shade, okay? Wherever he would go, I'll be with him. Until he would enter his house, I'll sit at the doorsteps of his house, thinking that he might call me. I would hear him all night saying, Subhanallah, la ilaha illallah, reciting Quran, until I either sleep or I'll go back to the mosque and sleep there. Fajr time, I'll be there to bring his wudu to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Doing this a few times, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the one with greatest manners. Allah described in the Quran that you have acquired the greatest form of character, of greatest manners. And he's the one who said in the hadith, مَنْ لَا يَشْكُرُ النَّاسِ لَا يَشْكُرُ اللَّهِ. Those who don't thank people don't thank Allah. The Prophet was thankful to this child, although this young man should be thankful to you, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the Prophet, that the Prophet allowed him to be his servant. when he was given his fudu, he said to him, Rabi'ah, now you know his name is Rabi'ah ibn Ka'b al-Aslami, may Allah be pleased with him. Rabi'ah, ask me, what do you want from me? Rabi'ah was really surprised because he was not expecting such a question, because he was not doing the service to the Prophet ﷺ to get anything back, but to please Allah and His Prophet, and to learn as well. He said, give me time, O Prophet of Allah. This is a very important issue. He was thinking anything that the Prophet ﷺ would ask Allah for will happen. So I should really aim high. And this is a 15-year-old, from our perspective, child. No, the companions of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ at this age were great pyramids. They were chosen by Allah to be around him. Therefore, this religion will continue forever. And no companions of any prophet are greater than the companions of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. This is why they are the greatest people after the prophets. So next time the Prophet ﷺ said to him, he said, give me time, O Prophet of Allah. This is a serious matter. Then third time he said to himself, I should ask the Prophet ﷺ for something great that no other could really give me but the Prophet, or comes to me through the Prophet. The Prophet asked him for the third time, and he said, O Prophet of Allah, I want to be your companion in paradise. Big question. He said, Rabi'ah, whom did you consult to give you to ask such a great issue? He said, no other, no, none. I consulted none. I was thinking myself, I realized that whatever we get in this life will be passing away, but whatever preserved there, and I've been your companion in this life, I don't want to be away from you when you go into paradise. The Prophet said to him, أعني على نفسك بكثرة السجود. Help me with yourself with abundance of prostration, of making more salah. Because salah, this indicates that those people who really keep their salah, do the sunnah in the best way, may be having a greater chance to be the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in paradise. In another situation, when this young man grew up, the Prophet ﷺ realized that he wanted him to get married. He said, Rabi'ah, don't you want to get married? He said, O Prophet of Allah, I don't have anything. I don't have the dower. I don't have any wealth to do. He said, Allah will give you an abundance. Don't worry about that. Go to that house of Al-Ansar and said to them, the Prophet sent me to you, so I would marry your daughter, so and so. He went to them. They never questioned anything. They accepted him immediately. And because of the time of program, we'll just focus on one incident in the life of Rabi'ah and the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Rabi'ah, later on, the Prophet ﷺ gave him land and he became rich. So his land was close to the land of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with them. And there was a palm tree that they disputed against. Abu Bakr would say it's mine, Rabi'ah would say it's mine. Then Abu Bakr was a bit angry at Rabi'ah and he said some harsh words that Abu Bakr felt sorry. Look at those people, ya akhwan. Felt sorry for saying them. He said to Rabi'ah, respond to me, speak back to me. He said, no, you are Abu Bakr, I will not say that back to you. And he said, if you don't do that, I will go and complain against you to the Prophet. He said, even if you do that, I will not say anything bad about you. You are the Siddiq, the companion of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the greatest man ever walked on earth after the prophets. I will never. This is the school of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, teaching him manners, real manners, adab. So he went, Abu Bakr, to the Prophet ﷺ to complain against Rabi'ah. His people said, the man is speaking at you, and he says, speak back to me. You should have said that. He said, no. If Abu Bakr is angry, the Prophet will be angry. And if the Prophet is angry, Allah will be angry. I don't care about you. He followed him to the Prophet ﷺ, and Abu Bakr complained to the Prophet ﷺ about that. He didn't say back to him. He said, Rabi'ah, why didn't you speak back to him? He said, how could I speak back to Abu Bakr? The Prophet ﷺ smiled as if he realized that his school of manners have benefited his ummah. He realized that his companions are following his example. He said, yes, Rabi'ah, you don't speak back to Abu Bakr. You say, Yarhamuka Allahu Abu Bakr. Ghafar Allahu laka Abu Bakr. He said, may Allah have mercy upon you, Abu Bakr. May Allah forgive you, Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr left the room crying. These are the manners of the companions of Prophet Muhammad. Those are the ones who are brought up in the school of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The school of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not disappear. It is there for us. Now we know about their seerah, about their way of life, about how they learned, about how they treated each others, how they treated the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how they treated the world. They are stars for us to follow and get guidance from, as they radiated with guidance from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. غفر الله لي ولكم ولهم. May Allah be pleased with them and you. Hopefully we'll meet in another episode with another incidents, with another companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore you and I may benefit from their way of life. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا.